UFC 261.
I don't think there was a dull fight.
Look, that was the fight. That particular pay-per-view was like, if you don't like UFC, if you're not interested in combat sports, that's the one. But the problem with that one is it might have been too much for you. It might have been it was utter carnage.
Yeah.
Carnage.
It was
Oh man, hold on, man. Let's go through it, right? So Anthony Smith, Jimmy Crute.
Yeah, that one
right?
got stopped.
Yeah, it got stopped. Those are 205ers.
Yeah.
Right? And
What are they 205?
205s,
Okay.
right? So that's John Jones' old.
Right.
Jan Blachowicz is the champion there.
Right.
Now Anthony Smith's claim to fame is he took John Jones deep into five rounds.
Right.
It was very competitive, and he was the first competitive fight John Jones had basically his whole career.
Right.
Before he had that fight with the other guy, but he was on the skid. He needed this win. Did you see that low kick?
Yeah,
What?
I thought he broke his whole ankle in half.
No. So when Anthony Smith kicked Jimmy Crute,
Yeah.
his leg was toast.
So what was I didn't get to see the medical outcome. Did he tear a ligament?
So they were saying that he got drop foot, like somehow Anthony Smith
Hit a
kicked
nerve?
his nerve and his whole foot went numb. And then the commentators were saying that they thought he tore a ligament because he was literally dragging his foot around the cage.
I was like, how is he even stepping on it?
Bro, the fact that dude got off the stool.
And still fought, actually.
No.
No.
He tried to fight.
The end of the rest of that round, he still fought.
He still fought. He finished
and
the
was
round.
doing good.
He was getting dominated.
After he got kicked and they went to the ground,
he was surviving.
He was doing okay.
It looked like if it was something that he could have recovered from, the fight would have still been competitive, right? But when he got up off the stool,
it was all bad.
Man, if that ref didn't call, because
his whole foot was drunk.
Anthony Smith said, "I'll just keep kicking the leg." I was like, "Oh, damn!"
But why wouldn't you?
Exactly. He kicked dude's leg, and dude fell, and he did not recover. That was brutal. But that leg injury,
that whole foot just was like,
I'm
good. Squidfish.
Oh, bro.
It was squidfish.
And we thought that was bad.
Yeah, I was like, "Ooh, that's rough."
Yeah.
I wonder what's gonna happen next.
Uriah Hall versus Chris Weidman, right? I like Uriah Hall.
He's okay.
Uriah Hall has that fight, that spin kick on the
it's a highlight.
There was the Ultimate Fighter,
right?
And he literally kicked that dude's soul out his body. It was crazy. It was a spin kick. He set it up with a shoulder feint and then spun around and kicked the dude. He made the dude lean with the feint, leaned into the kick, spun around and kicked him. I was like, oh shit, that was just mean.
Yeah.
So
what was it? 5 seconds?
It was a little bit into the first. Yeah, it was early in the first round.
It
was the first
kick.
It was the first kick thrown. Yeah. So let me ask you a question, right?
Yeah.
How does that happen? Like they said that he checked the kick.
He didn't check the kick.
Okay. Because
he absolutely did not check the kick. Well, he didn't check it in the normal sense. So normally when you leg check, right, you pick your leg up in order to meet the force that's coming, and you allow that to carry, so you kind of deaden the impact.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But what Hall did is he has a really wide stance when he fights
because he's a karate guy.
Has a stand-up background. Yeah. So he prefers that type of position. It's also a little bit harder for him to be taken down, but it leaves you susceptible to a single leg.
Right.
But I think he's really comfortable with that. So he sat down on the kick.
Okay.
And when he sat down, he put his weight on it. It just made it more stable. And I think it was fluke because it was just the angle that Weidman hit him. And Weidman's attack went a little bit in too far.
Mm-hmm. He hit with the lower part of his tibia, right?
And then he Fantastic Four'd him.
Oh Lord, that was so disgusting. That was so horrible. And like from my understanding, when I was listening to the commentators, it was like when you said he sat down on the kick, when he basically dug his heel into the canvas
to take the shot.
So now it was literally like kicking a pole. It was like kicking something
to a degree,
like he's leaning on it. So the worst irony of that horrific injury is that Chris Weidman did the same thing to Anderson Silva.
Well, and the irony was Silva knew his was broken.
Oh,
right. Yeah, Chris Weidman went to put his whole busted foot down,
and he looked like Mr. Elastic from the Fantastic Four. Oh man, it was terrible. It was terrible.
It was horrible.
And the sound that it made was horrific.
It was horrible.
Like, holy shit.
D and I heard it.
Yes, everybody heard it.
We were sitting on the couch together, and we went,
ah!
It was like watching a train wreck and a body flew out at the same time.
The most amazing thing about this UFC is that the fans were there. Right. This
yes.
is the first one.
I kept
that
going.
they've
This says live. I go.
Bruce was hyped.
Yes.
That he finally got
that he was there
again.
Yes. So 261 is the first one they've had in over a year.
Florida.
And they, people are packed in there like COVID didn't exist. Right?
No COVID.
Right.
No
so
COVID.
the fact is, we heard the snapping of his bone. Over 15,000 people screaming.
Even you're right. Did you see Hall's face?
Oh,
he was
man.
like.
Did you see Joe Rogan's face?
Oh,
yes. He's got the best oh shit face in the game.
Man. Oh.
He grabbed DC and what's the other cast? I don't remember his name.
Oh, and the other guy.
The other commentator. He grabbed both commentators
Yeah.
like he had just hit a ride at Magic Mountain.
Bro, that shit was crazy. And the love that that Chris Weidman has been receiving afterwards, the support, because
it's fluke, man.
It is a fluke, and like this is one of those things that is he gonna recover from? I think he's 36. If I'm not sure, I'm not mistaken.
Who knows?
I forgot how old he is, but
who knows how bad that break looked horrible.
Yeah, and he was looking forward because he was a champion.
Yeah,
he was a champion. He was looking forward to matching up against Adesanya because Israel Adesanya is the champion of that division. And everybody is shooting for Adesanya, so I was like, Chris Weidman, he could have a shot. He could have a chance.
And I felt bad for Hall. I'm not even a Hall fan, but I felt bad for Hall because you trained for that.
Yeah, I wanted to see the competition.
Right, and I don't think he wants to win that way either.
Of course not. He didn't want to win because he's a competitor.
Right.
I mean, he doesn't want to lose, but I mean, this is
he'll
not
take the
satisfying.
win, but that's not really how you want to win.
So, Valentina, the Bullet Shevchenko, right?
What's up with the flamenco dance?
That's culturally, that's her thing.
Is that her thing?
Yeah, she's Argentinian.
Oh, she's Argentinian?
Yeah, she's Argentinian.
Oh.
Like, she speaks fluid Spanish. Her Spanish is awesome. But she was fighting Jessica Andrade, and Jessica dropped down to fight her. And Jessica had been a destroyer, right? Yeah. Jessica had been matter of fact, Jessica beat Rose by slamming Rose on her head, right? So Jessica beat Rose Namajunas by slamming on her head, and Wei Li Jiang beat the brakes off of Jessica Andrade.
Right.
Just beat her.
Oh, horrible.
That's how she got the title. So Jessica, after she lost to Wei Li Jiang, she comes down and she runs into Valentina. And Valentina
who handles
her. Bro, it was that stoppage was the most mercy I've seen in a while.
I gotta say, as soon as I watched her go for that, as soon as I started setting up, she had the top.
She had a crucifix.
She had the top part of it, and she started pushing her arm down. I'm like, oh, she's about to get this girl on a crucifix. And it seemed like she didn't know.
Worst part about this is that Andrade is known to be a wrestler, and Valentina is known to be a striker. And Valentina was ragdolling her all over the octagon. It was like
pretty bad.
This is supposed to be your strength, right? This is supposed to be your strength, and she made it look easy. Yeah. Easy. Yo, that crucifix is a mean position.
Well, and the elbows. She stopped punching her after like the third one. It was like, I'm just going to elbow her face until she's done.
She said that in the post-fight, she said, I was elbowing her. It was so calm, so like sweet and nice.
Yeah.
I was elbowing her, and then I saw some blood, so I decided to elbow her harder. I was like, what? You had another gear? Like, what are you talking about? And it's like,
she poured it on.
And then she said, I heard the ref say, fight back. So I decided to elbow her faster. I was like, holy shit. So you hit like the max on the blender? You put this bitch's head in a blender.
She went from mixed to puree.
Mixed to puree. I was like, pop, pop, pop. I was like, oh shit. Yeah. Look, that was
bad. It looked real bad.
Merciful.
Yeah.
Merciful. She made it look so easy because the biggest deal is she going to go up a weight class to fight what's the kid that beat the hell out of? She beat Cyborg. She beat the hell out of Cyborg. She beat the hell out of Amanda. Is she gonna go up to fight Amanda again? Because she already fought Amanda.
I hope so. Because I love watching Amanda fight.
Man, so
Nunes is my girl.
So
didn't what's her name come back and fight? The one that got slept by Ronda. She came back and fought.
The kickboxer.
No.
Which one?
Oops.
His whole life is falling apart.
What was the one girl? She came up with she was with Ronda.
I know
they
that
fought like twice.
And Ronda broke her arm in Strikeforce.
She did break her arm.
And then in the press conference she said, "Get used to wiping your ass with your left hand because I'm going to break your right arm again." Or something like that. She hasn't had a fight yet. She came back, but I want to say Kat Zingano, but that's the wrong name.
No, it's not.
It's not Kat.
White girl.
Yeah. But she's got some dark features though. It's not Holly Holmes. It's not Holly.
No, it's not Holly.
Holly's the one that kicked Ronda in the head.
More
Yeah.
old school.
Yes, she was in Strikeforce with Ronda. She was in
Yeah.
Strikeforce with Ronda. Strikeforce doesn't even exist anymore. That's how old school it is. But yeah, she hasn't had a fight yet. But another girl fight. Women's. These are grown ass women. And if I saw these two ladies and I called them a girl, I would apologize immediately.
Yeah.
Because these ladies are bad. We're talking about Weili Zhang and my girl, Thug Rose Namajunas.
That's why I owed Josh
Thug
$20.
Rose? You bet against Thug Rose?
Yes, I did,
Bro,
and I
you
would
out.
do it again.
You crazy.
No, I'm not crazy.
You
not crazy.
Crazy.
Listen, just let me
Thug Rose.
let me put to you number one, ring rust.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, ring rust. I'm not saying she's not good. She's obviously a proven fighter. Not considering this is a discrepancy. Didn't think it was going to be one sided. What I thought it was going to be was one hell of a brawl. And Zhang,
See,
she's just a beast.
I knew it wasn't going to be a brawl. I knew that Rose was not going to stand in front of Weili because Weili is a marauder. She's the juggernaut. She's just going to come forward and just try to. So Rose did what she was supposed to do: stay on her toes, stay on the outside.
I think it was the perfect
shots?
kick with the absolute worst response by Zhang. So like if you could set up like the best case scenario for Rose and the worst case scenario for Zhang, that's what happened.
Yeah, and you know the craziest part about this is that when you rewatch it and you look at
She thought it was
Weili's-
going to be a leg kick.
when you look, she thought it was going to be a leg kick.
Yeah.
When you looked at her feet, it was almost like it wasn't quite a question mark kick, but it did come up past her shoulder and whip over to her jaw. And I was
it was
like,
more of a
yo.
skip kick. It was more of a like what we call like a shuffle kick or a fast kick. And so it came up, she planted, picked up her knee, that Zhang pulled back, and then she finished it, and she finished it right along the sweet spot.
That was actually beautiful because
It was. It
Rose
was
says
perfect.
Rose is like, yeah, I have a Taekwondo background, and I was like, man, every Taekwondo player, everyone that's practiced that saw that was like, yo, that's that kick that I've been practicing since I was 5.
Yeah, we call it
Right.
fast kick.
That thing was
It's
amazing.
like a little bit modified.
So the corner man, she has a corner man that is her fiance. They've been
Right.
engaged forever. His name is Pat Barry. Pat Barry is a known kickboxer. Was a UFC heavyweight. He has that really crazy fight with Czech Congo that's really dope. But there's a moment at the end of the fight when he says, "Who's the best?"
Yeah.
And then she
She's
took a
crying.
second and she's crying. She says, "I'm the best." I was like, "Oh shit! Oh, this is great! Oh, this is awesome!" Right? And then she cried in the ring. I was like, "That's why we love you, Thug Rose."
You gotta have a rematch.
Oh, there's gonna be a rematch.
Zhang is a beast. She
Yeah.
got caught with the perfect attack
Yeah.
at the worst possible moment. And I think you watch if there's a second one, which there very well should be, it ain't.
There's definitely gonna be a
same.
fight. Well, so here's the thing: champions find a way to win,
Of course.
right? And champions are ever evolving.
And listen, Zhang is from China. She carrying a whole country.
yeah, she absolutely is.
A whole
she absolutely is. And I
country.
think she had a teamate that fought on the undercard. Who lost also. So like that's
gonna be
that's a big deal.
Then again, we might not see her again.
because she's from China, right? Hey man,
Zhang who?
the wild part.
We don't know anybody named Zhang anymore. We
yeah.
don't speak that name. No, but on the real, they were talking about it in some of the pre-fight, how MMA has gotten very little to almost no press in China. And then when Zhang won, they were like, put it on the TV.
Yeah.
And can you imagine the pressure?
Yeah.
No pressure.
No.
You're the only Chinese female fighter we have. You better not lose.
It's also weird how well, I mean, I guess everybody needs to have someone to look up to.
Sure.
Because China as a country loves basketball.
Right.
Right. There was that big problem
Rodman.
where a couple years ago where some of the NBA players were they were doing things. I think Nike had a camp in China and then people were like protesting China's treatment of like Tibet or something. It got real weird. But to think that basketball, which is an American export, like, that's,
Right.
Dr. Naismith created that in Kansas.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken. But, it's just interesting because, sport kind of transcends, right? Sport gives us something to be excited about. Sport gives us something it reminds of us how human we are because these guys are like literal superheroes out there, right? Because I remember watching Rose getting dropped on her head, like, damn, that was terrible.
That was I thought that was going to be the first death. In the
Like,
UFC.
bro, I was like, her neck is toast, right? Right? But moving right along, because it wasn't another
this
fight.
wasn't enough,
It
right?
wasn't enough. So hold on a second. So let's recap, right?
Yeah.
So we have freak accident. Looks like the dude kicked his ligaments out of his body.
Yeah.
First guy, right? That's the Jimmy Crute. It was like,
Yeah.
what the hell was that? And then we upped the ante, turned up the what the hell was that meter when Chris Weidman obliterates literally.
His whole leg wrapped around Hall's leg.
Oh my God! It was like spaghetti. It was terrible. He wrapped his leg around the other guy's leg. Oh,
Watched an insanely vicious crucifix.
And then he
he tried to step
stand
back
on
on
it,
it.
yeah.
Yes, and then from there we saw Valentina put Jessica in this wild crucifix, and I was actually happy the ref stepped in and did something.
Yeah.
because she was beating the brakes off of that chick.
Yeah.
And then Wei Li Zhang took
Single kick to the face, night.
the most beautiful
Yeah,
single
it
kick
was
that I've
perfect.
seen in a long time,
Especially in women's.
and especially in women's MMA.
It was perfect.
Yeah, it was like when Ronda got kicked in the forehead.
It was better.
It was better. It was better.
Because Ronda looked like shit that whole fight. She
Yeah,
looked like
and
trash.
Oh, Ronda was getting her ass whooped.
Yeah, it was horrible.
It wasn't competitive. It wasn't
Zhang,
good.
that was just perfection. It was
So-
perfection.
That wasn't even the main event.
No.
The main event was Kamaru Usman and our
Masvidal.
boy George Jorge Masvidal. Right? You
what-
bet against Kamaru.
No, I know. I figured it was going to
Okay.
be. I actually thought it was going to be one hell of an epic fight. And some of our brothers were like, who you going to vote for? And I'm like, I can't really. I mean, I want Masvidal to win. I just like him. I like his
Right.
style a little
I
bit
like
better.
Masvidal also. I remember. Listen, there's those videos where Masvidal is fighting in the backyard. He was brought into the backyard by Kimbo Slice.
Right.
He's only like 17 years old, fighting grown ass men in a backyard. I was like, yo,
Yeah.
this kid is mean, right? And then, most of his fights he's lost by submission
Right.
or decision. He's never. This is the first time he was ever finished.
Whew.
And finished did he get?
It was rough, man.
Look, the best part about this, right, is there are two sides of the coin. There's before and after.
Right.
Before the fight, Masvidal's talking big shit. Kamaru Usman doesn't have any punching power. He's got no punching power. Not any punching power, right? Not to mention what he did to Gilbert Burns. Remember we were
Right.
watching at the house?
Yeah.
And he beat Gilbert Burns into submission.
Right.
And he broke Kobe Covington's jaw.
Yeah.
And then George Masvidal still had the nerve to say he doesn't have any power. And
He didn't say that when he woke up.
So the other side of the coin is that all that big talk, he was incredibly gracious in defeat, and I was proud of George.
He
for
was.
that.
He you heard him in the post fight.
Yeah.
So Masvidal got hit with a ridiculously textbook perfect overhand right.
Mm-hmm.
Was just like
Look.
if you were to show somebody a video on how to throw a right hand, that was a video.
That right hand would have knocked out a silverback gorilla.
It was
That
rough.
right hand would have knocked out.
He folded Masvidal so bad
Oh,
that
man.
Masvidal actually laid on Usman on the way down.
Oh yeah. He was gone. He
Like it was just what was it in Scooby Doo and that's just what Masvidal looked like on the way down.
the impact was so hard.
Yeah.
The spray of sweat off his hair
They
was
had just wet him
crazy.
down.
Okay.
He was and they pour
Okay.
water on him and he's got the braids and everything and so the water's all in there and that was like the special effects coordinators in a Rocky movie couldn't have made that any better.
It's just funny. It did look like a Rocky movie.
Yeah.
The funniest thing about this is that Masvidal was probably preparing for Usman to wrestle.
Sure.
Because Usman is a wrestler by trade, right? And I thought that Usman was going to lay him down and wrestle him to
Right.
death. He's not going to stand there with a superior striker. And when he was standing in front of him, he had his hands down. And he's smiling and he's kind of clowning in there. And I bet you any money if he was fighting another striker, someone that's known for striking,
so careless.
he wouldn't have been so careless. Like MMA guys have their hands down all the boxers don't ever really do that.
He does that a lot, bro.
Okay.
He does it after he gets hit.
I gotta watch the
Yeah.
Nate Diaz fight again.
He gets hit
Because
and
it's
then he
kind of
puts-
like a
it's
show.
it's
Right.
like you don't hurt me.
Hey, so should Kamaru have that BMF belt too?
Well, you still got to take it from him. He won it.
I mean, yeah, like
Yeah, but that was a one-time deal.
Yeah.
yeah, but you supposed to be a bad motherfucker, right? And
He
now
is.
the regular
He
dude,
is.
Kamaru's the BMF, right?
Then you should fight him for it.
What? How come that belt wasn't on the line?
I don't know. They didn't
'Cause
negotiate
it's
that.
a one-time.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think it's more like a trophy kind of
It's a
thing,
trophy.
and not a vacated belt.
If that was you and you were supposed to be the bad mother effer,
I want
right?
Cerrone to have that shit.
I want Donald Cerrone to have that.
You
too.
know the interesting thing that
Different weight class though.
I was watching
He's
about.
smaller.
Listen, I was watching about Usman's attack. It was so textbook. It was nothing crazy. It was a mediocre pawing jab, right? Which was he didn't even lay it out there.
He baited him.
He just wanted to
Got the
move
reaction.
it, right? And so when he realized that the hand wasn't there, he just did the right hand.
But he threw. You know what else was
Oh, it was
interesting?
perfect. But I'm just saying, it was nothing that he was like, I set him up amazing and I worked on this one. You work on it, he's thrown that punch 20,000 times
Probably.
just because.
Probably. So that's the weird thing. Like Masvidal's had over 50 fights. He's fought
A lot.
over 50 humans.
That was his 50th.
That was his 50th fight, and he got hit by like a basic technique. It wasn't even like you said. That's the craziest thing about MMA though, right? Like the margin for error is so small.
Anybody can get slapped.
Anybody can get just knocked all the way out because he was throwing haymakers. And when I was watching that fight, I was like, this guy is leaning too heavily into these punches. George is going to continue to evade. He's going to get tired because it's really hard punching the air. And then George is going to piece him up. And none of that happened.
They didn't have time.
Jorge, none of that happened. I was like, Kamaru's going to get tired. And he's going to shoot the takedown. He's going to hold him down and beat him up from there. None of that happened.
Hey, he got tired.
Yes.
You see him get tired when he
Yes,
took
he
him
did.
down? He was trying to hold him down.
Yes.
He got up and he was.
Jorge got
I was
up.
actually surprised how
Jorge
well he got up.
I actually wasn't. You know, like the first fight he took him down, but when he cut weight, he didn't look as fit. You know, he just cut the weight to cut the weight. You know what I mean? Like the fact that he made weight kind of is against that whole, I only had 6 days to get ready for the fight. Bullshit. You can't cut all that weight in 6 days.
I mean, you can. What did he walk at? What did he walk
You
at?
could probably lose. You could probably do it in less time.
What did he walk at?
I think they walk around at like they're fighting at 170. He probably walks around like 190,
185.
190, maybe
You
190
can do that
at the
in 6
most.
days.
All right,
You can do 12 in a day.
But you don't want to do
Yikes.
that.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
horrible.
And
It's
then
horrific.
fight Usman.
Yeah, and then fight Usman, right?
It's horrific.
then fight one of the baddest men on the planet, right?
Yeah.
Like,
All right,
but
so there's the next UFC is what, next weekend or the weekend after?
oh yeah, I don't even know who's fighting.
Why would you even
Yeah,
watch it?
like
Because that's not going to happen that way for a very
Yeah.
long time.
I just
Shit,
wondered.
Did you see the whole drama with Dana White and the Vegas?
No.
Las Vegas.
No.
No,
Dude,
what
he's
happened?
Pissed, bro.
Who, Dana's pissed or
Yeah,
Vegas
'cause they
pissed?
had Connor was set for July 13th or something like that,
Mhm.
and now like Dana's beefing with like Las Vegas because they want to like do only so many people. I don't know what. the whole
Oh, they're
story
messing
is,
with the
but
numbers.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dana White is the guy that's like, fuck them.
No,
Quick,
yeah,
we'll go to
he's-
Fight Island.
He did say that. Actually.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? You know what else is funny, right? Is that who was in the stands? Who was in attendance in the crowd?
Oh,
Covington.
yeah, Covington was there.
No,
Yes, he was.
no, that's not. He's not important. Jake Paul.
Oh, you want to talk
The
about Jake Paul?
whole crowd
Yeah.
was chanting,
Fuck Jake Paul.
bro.
Rightly so.
So rightly so, because there's a difference between the spectacle that Triller does and the competition
Right.
that the UFC puts on. Two completely different things.
Well,
One
one's
is
the sideshow.
one's a sideshow. Like
It's
look,
a carnival.
like Jake Paul.
Jake Paul, you are the trained monkey or elephant
He called him a monkey.
or elephant of
You're
the
a trained-
sideshow carnival circus.
He called you a beast.
That's
of burden.
what you are. Now listen, the funny thing is, it makes paper.
Oh yeah.
I was watching a thing on YouTube, ironically, about the top performers on YouTube.
Mhm.
The guesstimation this dude makes around $20 million a year.
Oh yeah. And that's just off YouTube. That has nothing to do.
Yeah,
with
it's
fighting.
nothing
Yeah,
else.
that has nothing.
But
to do.
that
He
doesn't make you any less of a carnival show.
I think to his credit, he doesn't need to fight. I think that he absolutely loves the competition.
I agree.
But that doesn't take away from the fact that he's had hand-picked opponents.
Yeah.
Right? He fought a YouTuber,
Yeah.
a 40-year-old basketball player that was 20 pounds less than him, that was
Right.
20 pounds smaller than him, a 40-year-old retired MMA guy with a hip replacement that wasn't even known for throwing punches.
And now
And now
a porn star.
a porn star. He's gonna fight Derek Pierce.
He,
Or is
look,
he gonna fight Daryl?
No. He gonna fight Derrick Pierce, and then his name is gonna be Jake Pierce. Remember we talked about that.
Oh,
You gotta change his name.
daddy.
Yep, because D is now your daddy. Your name is
whooped your ass.
Jake Pierce now.
Listen, I would actually do it if he would go MMA or kickboxing.
Fuck that. You doing that shit for the
I
bag.
mean, I would box with him too, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying I would really talk that. I've never had a pro boxing fight. I've never had an amateur boxing fight.
Sounds perfect.
It sounds perfect. He's the perfect guy. Look, if he wouldn't do it MMA, he would not. You know why? Because
he'll see D's calves and be like, "Fuck
he'd be
that."
like, fuck that. Look, D is gonna spinning heel kick his liver out of his body. Right? Like he's gonna kick that liver, and his liver is just gonna just hit him. It's gonna fall down to his ankles. He's like, look, man, no, he doesn't want them kind of problems. Listen, it's really interesting how these boxers are always talking big about fighting, right? When you box, you don't
What
fight.
they really mean is talking big about boxing.
They're talking big about boxing, and they should talk big about boxing, but you're not fighting, you're boxing. There's two different things.
That's a sport.
It's a sport. Don't get me wrong. The sweet science is beautiful.
And I mean, it is fighting, but it's
Yeah.
limited. You're playing by very specific rules that could very well change like the
Look,
outcome if you had, what I mean, if you had a different background.
But so when you watch boxers, right? They're
Yeah.
like Mike Tyson's Philly shell, right? And the way he used to bob and the way Cuss had him, getting low and doing the
Cuss
windshield
D'Amato.
wiper technique back and forth. The only reason why he can do that is because of the limitations in boxing.
Right.
MMA fighters are trained to defeat that. Because I can just shoot to your legs and take you down, or I can just kick your front leg. This way you can't really stand there and lean your power into your punches anymore. This is why the boxers would never do MMA. And this is why the MMA guys are always overconfident going into boxing because they're like, yeah, I box a little bit. Yeah, I box.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
bro.
throwing punches with 8-ounce gloves. And listen, if you change the boxing to 8-ounce gloves, it would also change the outcome. You're putting MMA guys in 12, 14, 16-ounce gloves.
I think that if you change the boxing gloves to 8 ounces, then that's what the MMA glove is, right? 8 ounces, right? I think you would have less brain injury.
Well,
because
over faster.
Yeah, because what happens is with those bigger gloves, these guys are able to continue because the glove is
That's what I'm saying is like MMA guys I would think would have a better shot because now you're really going like legit punching
Yeah, but
power.
what I'm saying here is that like long term, like we were just watching Thomas Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard have a conversation with Mike Tyson. And Mike
that what you want to call it?
Mike Tyson is instigating his ass off. That shit is the funniest thing ever because you get these two old dogs, right? And in the interview, they look like they won the scrap. It was like
I felt like Sugar was the one
Hey,
pushing that.
He was pushing the button. He was pushing his button. He was like, he was just a power puncher. He was saying shit like, he was pretty good. I was like,
he
yo,
was
bro,
alright.
he was a world champion. He was all right.
What he said he was one-dimensional.
Yeah, he said you're one-dimensional. I was like, oh, shit. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that Martin episode where Martin fought Thomas Hearns, and he said Sugar just called, and he said he was the get hit man. That shit is funny. The get hit man, not the hit man. Oh, bro, come on, man.
Those were the days that boxing was epic.
You can watch those Sugar Ray Leonard highlights and see the hand speed.
Oh, it's so crazy.
And then you wondered how he would have fared against someone like Floyd Mayweather.
I think he would have been his nemesis.
Because he would have been able to touch him. Floyd is Mr. Defensive Boxer, but Sugar Ray Leonard would have absolutely been able to touch him.
He hit you where you didn't think you were going to be.
And he's going to hit you 4 times. And he'd be like, what the fuck was that?
That was, that was the first boxer I ever watched.
Really? When you watch the Roberto Duran No Mas fight, right? He literally beat the will out of this man. He wasn't even trying to knock him out. Roberto Duran was just like, okay, enough. Hands of stone.
Yeah.
It was like, enough is enough, right?
Scholar.
I think very deeply.
Sinner.